But now, here at the Independent Republic of Mike Graham, I'm delighted to say Hannah Hope has joined me from The Sun, because The Sun front page this morning, Victoria, my pain over David's affair. An incredible exclusive, a great story, because here we've got another Netflix documentary, Hannah, and one that actually I might want to watch, unlike the one about Harry and Meghan.
Yes, this is proper juice.
Yes.
This 4-part series on Netflix, simply called Beckham.
Yeah.
So it's a look back at David Beckham's iconic career.
Yeah.
But we actually get a lot of bang for our buck. They reveal lots of never-seen-before footage from their private life,
Yeah.
but also talk about that affair in 2003.
With Rebecca Lewis, right?
20 years ago,
Yes.
with Rebecca Lewis.
I mean, it's amazing in a way that this hasn't been done before, because, you know, forget about the Kardashians and Harry and Meghan and all of these kind of, you know, so-called reality stars. I mean, these are the real original reality stars, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're the biggest
Posh and
showbiz...
Becks. Who
Posh
could
and Becks,
forget?
the biggest showbiz couple in our country,
Yeah.
and our biggest showbiz exports. But what's interesting is it is David Beckham's own production company,
Right.
Studio 99. But so I think when it was announced, we all thought, oh, maybe it's going to be slightly whitewashed, slightly gentle. But they really have gone the whole hog and revealed a lot of very personal stuff. And also Victoria, even though the documentary isn't just about her, she's revealed all sorts of insight, and saying how she was very depressed when they were working in Madrid.
Yeah.
It was the most unhappy time of her life. And they also talk about the aftermath of that affair.
Yes.
Although they never name Rebecca Lewis.
They never quite admit that it happened either,
No,
do they?
they skirt over it,
Right.
but they do show newspaper front pages of that time, which quite cleverly puts it all on blast.
Yeah.
And I think it is, you know, very personal. And I think that it would have been very difficult for them to really do a warts and all documentary as a 4-parter without skirting over, with having skirted over that issue. And I think they probably would have been criticised for it as well.
Yeah, I think so. Because for people who are perhaps not old enough to remember how big these two were, I mean, they were massive, weren't they? Everything from, you know, when he got sent off in the World Cup over in France, where people were sort of burning effigies of him, hanging him from lampposts, to the whole kind of, you know, drama, the docudrama about going to Real Madrid, the Rebecca Lewis affair. I mean, even I'm thinking, as I'm talking about him, I'm thinking of that vision of him going up the Thames on a boat when the opening ceremony of 2012 Olympics was going on. I mean, this guy has been a sort of British icon, and not just here, but also abroad. He now owns a football team in America. You know, he played over there, I think, as well, didn't he? You know, it's just an incredible sort of story of success, really.
Absolutely.
From the boy from West Ham.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, actually, I mean, I've just spoken about the affair. Any football fan is going to love the behind-the-scenes tell-all about all of those iconic football moments. There is actually interviews from Alex Ferguson within the documentary, and David Beckham admits that with that famous locker room boot kick that left him with a scar on his eyebrow, he actually went for Alex, but was held back by teammates. So, I mean, any football fan is going to love the gritty behind-the-scenes gossip. So, I mean, I actually do think it's an entertaining watch, and probably a bit more entertaining than the Harry and Meghan one.
Well, there's so much more to them. I mean, the trouble with the Harry and Meghan stuff was that it was all about Harry and Meghan just talking to each other and, you know, having some fun and walking around their garden. You know, these are people who've, I mean, you know, whatever you might want to say about Posh Spice, you know, she had a musical career which was very successful. You know, she's got a fashion business, you know, which may or may not be as successful. But, you know, and he had a proper job. You know, they've actually got achievements that they can talk about, and you know, real life experiences that are actually worth watching.
Yeah, and like you say, they do literally come from, you know, especially David, very working class background.
Right.
And he's a boy done good, isn't he? And
he really
he's
is.
Actually living the English dream. And shows that aspirational lifestyle that, you know, anyone can kind of achieve with a bit of luck.
Absolutely right. We've got a clip, I think, from the trailer. Let's have a look and see if we can catch a flavour of Beckham. Oh, no, we haven't. No, well, we'll come back to that. But, you know, the point about the whole Netflix drama, though, I mean, obviously it's taken them a while to suddenly get to this point. Why do you think they've suddenly decided to do it now, then?
I think that they're both at a really good time in their careers. But I also think on a personal note, they seem very happy and stable, and now feels a very good time to talk about it. Both David and Victoria have described the experience as cathartic and like therapy. There's over 50 hours of interview with David Beckham. I'd love to see some of the footage that ended up on the cutting room floor. I bet there are even more revelations. But I think that they obviously feel confident and strong enough to now address that very rocky time. And like you say, he owns his own football team. Their kids, there was pictures of them all on the red carpet last night.
Well, their kids are now celebrities in their own right, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Although I'd put them more in the Harry and Meghan area because they haven't done anything much yet. I think we now have the clip. Let's have a look.
Lose all what he'd worked for. Because football come first and all of a sudden it wasn't.
Okay, David. Big smile.
It definitely didn't change me.
Well, it changed. There's no doubt about that.
David! It's a red card for David Beckham.
I don't think I've ever talked about it just because I can't. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping.
It took a toll on me that I never even knew myself.
Ferguson admitted he had kicked the boot, accidentally striking Beckham.
And then I've gone like that, and then I've gone like that.
You went at him?
Yeah.
It's really entertaining when the circus comes to town, right? Unless you're in it.
It's all right, Buster, they can't get in the car. We were drowning.
But he just kept going.
I mean, maybe I don't know whether everybody's going to feel the same way I do, but you know, here he is scoring that amazing goal against Greece because he was a great footballer as well. And the thing that I've met a lot of footballers in my various different roles here at Talk TV when I was at Talk Sport. You know, they're always far more interesting people than people give them credit for. You know, because to be a top-level athlete and a top-level, you know, Premier League international player, you've got to be some kind of character because of the abuse. I mean, he used to get terrible abuse every single time he played. You know, they used to sing terrible songs about his wife. You know, they're strong characters, these guys, and I have a lot of admiration for them.
And also, you've got to remember, David Beckham has always had the mickey taken out of him because everyone jokes that he's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's not the most eloquent of chaps.
Yeah, he's very stupid. He's also very rich, so he can't be that dim, can he?
I know. But I think what you see on this documentary is that he's found his voice now and he's able to talk about what he's been through.
Yeah.
And there's also actually some nice at-home moments where you see that he's actually a keen chef. He cooks a roast dinner for his family. You see him, like, cleaning the oven. So you see those more down-to-earth moments. The other thing to mention is that this documentary really has been given the A-list treatment. It's been produced by an American, Fisher Stevens, who was recommended to the Beckhams by none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. So they really have gone A-list with the production of it. But as we were saying...
Well, it looks great, though, doesn't it?
And it's going to be enthralling from what...
And so when is it going to be made available to us poor peasants?
It's all available on Netflix now.
Is it?
Yeah. So I got up very early this morning to watch as much as I could before coming here. Well, for you, Mike. Anything.
Brilliant. And, I mean, were you taken by it in the same way? I mean, is it one of those things you binge watch, you just watch all four?
Yeah, I mean, as a journalist and having, even as a Spice Girls fan and a football fan, just seeing all these behind-the-moments, you know, backstage, what's really going on, was really interesting. And I think that it's going to do really well. And I wonder if this is now going to propel them as a family back up to the top with this renewed interest in them. It'll be interesting to see what they do next.
Right. Yeah, it really is, because, I mean, you hear different stories about her sort of fashion business and how successful or otherwise it is. But she's always able to get herself sort of back into the public eye. It was only, last week when we were seeing new pictures of her, I don't know if that was from this documentary, of her with her sort of biceps, not bulging exactly, but, you know, having obviously done some kind of workout to make herself look more physically kind of, you know, strong, I suppose. And then, again, that became a thing. And suddenly, you know, the papers were all going, oh, well, this is now the new thing for women. You know, you've got to show your kind of, you know, Ripley arms.
She said strong, not skinny, I think, and skinny so boring. So, yeah, she always reinvents herself, a little bit like Madonna, who's, as we know, is still going at 65.
Right.
On Friday, Victoria had her fashion show in Paris Fashion Week, and you obviously had the whole family there. And then you had Anna Wintour, who is US Vogue's editor, so she's like the queen of fashion.
Right.
And then you have Kim Kardashian there as a guest.
Did she not go with Bill Nye to the Met Gala or something? She's now dating Bill Nye, isn't she? I mean, don't tell me I'm not up to date with all this stuff. But
I'm very impressed, Mike.
Thank you very much indeed. You know, we cover all subjects here at the Independent Republic. But no, I just, you know, it's fashionable to hate David Beckham and to think Posh Spice is a bit of a waste of space. I've always quite liked them. I just think they've had a terrible time. And as he said there in that clip, you know, when he was the kind of pariah of the world for British people, or English fans anyway, I mean, that must have been horrible for him.
Yeah, he really talked. He actually wells up and gets a bit teary-eyed in the documentary.
I'm not surprised.
And they talk about having to have therapy to go through these things. But I think what was really admirable is that you never really saw him lash out at his fans, at the public.
No.
He absorbed it all, kept his head down, and dealt with it very respectfully, really, didn't he?
He did, and he's emerged from it, I think, a much more admirable individual than some other people. And there are some people I have a go at, but I'm not having a go at these guys because I think they're great Britons, actually. If we had a prize for them, that's what I would say.
High praise from Mike.
You wouldn't expect that from me, would you? Hannah, great to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Hannah Hope from The Sun. Stories in The Sun this morning. The Netflix show is out there. I'm a great admirer. You might think I've gone mad. But no, I think I'm happy to say that I'm a great admirer of Posh and Bex. So if you're watching, because I know you probably are, because why wouldn't you be, have a nice day.